This design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term.
What if the United States just changed the rules of modern warfare? For decades, the missile race between the US, Russia, and now China has defined global power, and the threat of devastation has loomed large. But now, in a stunning announcement, President Donald Trump reveals plans for a secret weapon, the Golden Dome shield. This revolutionary defense system could render every missile threat obsolete, leaving Russia and China scrambling in disbelief. Could this be the moment that shifts the balance of power forever? The world is holding its breath because nothing will ever be the same again. The dawn of the Golden Dome, America's next-generation air defense. On May the 20th, President Trump announced that the United States would officially begin developing the Golden Dome air defense system, aiming to protect the entire country against a wide range of aerial threats. Trump promised that this ambitious project would become operational in less than 3 years and achieve a success rate close to 100%. While the Golden Dome concept is both bold and costly, it isn't exactly new in Trump's strategic thinking. Barely days after regaining office in January, Trump signed an executive order launching the Iron Dome for America, a system designed to counter the next generation of aerial threats. The May 20th announcement showed that this vision is moving faster than many anticipated. Once completed, the Golden Dome will intercept missiles launched from anywhere on the globe, even those fired from space, establishing the most advanced missile defense system in history. The US aims to become virtually immune to the long-range missile threats posed by strategic rivals like Russia and China. Space Force General Michael Goodline, Vice Chief of Space Operations and the man Trump tapped to lead the project, offers a concise explanation of the urgency. He outlined how adversaries have rapidly modernized their nuclear arsenals, developing ballistic missiles capable of carrying multiple warheads, hypersonic missiles capable of striking within an hour at speeds over 6,000 miles per hour, cruise missiles adept at evading radar, and stealth submarines lurking near US shores. Worse still, they're working on space-based weapons systems. Simply put, Russia and China are expanding their military capabilities at a pace that outstrips current US defenses. But what is the need for this? And why now? Well, China recently hinted at hypersonic missiles capable of traveling at Mach 20, launchable from satellites, ground platforms, and other delivery systems, giving them multiple attack vectors against the US. Meanwhile, Russia has been developing at least 3 hypersonic weapons, some operational or nearing operational status, with development dating back to 2018 under President Putin's direction. These technological leaps represent a clear and growing threat that the US can no longer tolerate. General Goodline's leadership inspires confidence. Widely respected within the Pentagon as a competent, deeply experienced operator, he specializes in missile defense system development and procurement, precisely the expertise needed to turn the Golden Dome from concept to reality. Through this system, the US sends a firm message to Russia and China. No matter how advanced your weapons become, the US will build defenses capable of neutralizing them, keeping America secure and deterring aggression. Turning the Golden Dome into an operational reality comes with a staggering price tag. Trump revealed the initial cost estimate of approximately $175 billion over 3 years. To put this in perspective, the total US defense budget for fiscal year 2025 is capped at $895 billion, meaning the Golden Dome project alone will consume roughly 1/5 of the entire military budget. However, this expenditure will roll out in stages rather than all at once. Trump is currently pushing for approval of the first $25 billion tranche as part of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, a sweeping legislative package also covering reforms in taxation and immigration. By bundling these reforms together, Trump hopes to ease the political challenges of asking Congress for such massive funding on defense alone. But the financial story doesn't end with initial construction. The Congressional Budget Office warns that the Golden Dome's total costs, including maintenance, ammunition stockpiling, and system upgrades, could soar as high as $540 billion over the next 20 years. Defense spending will need to absorb this long-term burden, with sustained investment required to keep the system stocked and operational against an evolving threat landscape. Unveiling the architecture. How will the Golden Dome work? Details remain scarce on the Golden Dome's exact design, despite Trump's assertion that the architecture has been settled. According to The Guardian, 3 versions of the system are on the table: small, medium, and large, each promising a layered defense combining ground-based missile interceptors with cutting-edge space-based technologies. The ground component would feature advanced missile interceptors capable of detecting and destroying incoming threats in the atmosphere. Meanwhile, the space-based segment, still under development, would deploy a variety of platforms capable of monitoring, tracking, and neutralizing missiles at or beyond the edge of space. This segment itself is subdivided into several categories, likely involving satellite constellations equipped with sensors and possibly directed energy weapons or kinetic interceptors. Though the exact configuration is yet to be finalized, this dual-domain approach aims to provide continuous, overlapping coverage to detect and destroy threats at the earliest possible moment. This proactive defense posture represents a dramatic leap beyond current missile defense systems and underscores the US commitment to maintaining technological superiority in this vital domain. By advancing the Golden Dome project, the US clearly signals to Russia and China that their evolving missile arsenals will not guarantee strategic advantage. The ability to intercept hypersonic missiles, cruise missiles, and even space-launched weapons would undermine any offensive surprise and strengthen deterrence. This shift also reflects a broader strategic recalibration, recognizing the new nature of modern warfare, where space and missile defense capabilities play an increasingly central role. The Golden Dome is more than just a defensive tool. It represents a strategic pivot toward controlling the high ground in space and protecting the homeland against threats that can emerge from any direction at unprecedented speeds. The Golden Dome project marks a historic leap in America's missile defense strategy, and the space-based component stands at its heart. Initially, Trump faced a choice between 2 concepts, Moonshot Plus and Moonshot Plus Plus. Later, US Secretary of Defense Peter Hegseth rebranded these options into 3 tiers: silver, gold, and platinum. The Golden Dome name suggests Trump chose the middle gold tier for the space defense aspect. While much remains under wraps, one thing is certain: space-based defenses will be central to the Golden Dome's ultimate success. This isn't America's first attempt at extending missile defense into space. It echoes former President Ronald Reagan's Strategic Defense Initiative, famously nicknamed Star Wars. Although Reagan's vision never came close to fruition due to technological and financial limitations in the 80s, the Golden Dome benefits from 4 decades of technological advancement. Now, the United States likely stands in a far stronger position to realize this ambitious space-based shield. At the core of the space-based strategy lies the development of interceptor missiles designed to operate during the boost phase of an enemy missile's flight. On March 20th, the War Zone, TWZ, reported comments from General Chance Saltzman, Chief of Space Operations, who emphasized the need to intercept missiles before they reach mid-course or terminal phases. Intercepting during the boost phase, the initial rocket-powered launch stage, offers crucial tactical advantages. During the boost phase, a missile's engines fire, propelling it skyward along a defined trajectory. This phase typically lasts only a few minutes, after which the missile enters mid-course flight, with warheads potentially separating and continuing toward their targets. By neutralizing missiles while their engines burn, interceptors can destroy multiple warheads simultaneously, much more efficient than targeting separated warheads later. Moreover, the intense heat and smoke plumes from rocket boosters during this phase make the missile easier to detect and track, enhancing the chances of a successful intercept. Waiting until warheads disperse increases complexity exponentially, making boost phase interception a strategic priority for the Golden Dome. Yet, the challenge remains enormous. The boost phase is brief, and interceptors must strike swiftly, often while still above enemy territory. Saltzman acknowledges the technical hurdles, but expresses confidence in the innovative spirit within America's space industry to overcome them. Beyond missiles, satellites as eyes and shields. Intercepting missiles in space requires more than just fast-flying interceptors. Early warning and precision tracking are essential. To that end, the Golden Dome project includes plans for a constellation of satellites that will provide continuous global surveillance to detect missile launches instantly and guide interceptors precisely. This satellite network will circle the globe, constantly scanning for threats. According to Reuters on April 17th, Elon Musk's SpaceX has emerged as the frontrunner to build these satellites. SpaceX is reportedly collaborating with Palantir, known for its advanced software solutions, and drone manufacturer Anduril to develop and deploy between 400 and 1,000 satellites dedicated to the Golden Dome mission. The partnership divides responsibilities clearly. SpaceX will handle satellite manufacturing and launch. Palantir will develop critical software systems for command and control, and Anduril will contribute to the ground-based components and integration. Plans also exist for a separate fleet of approximately 200 attack satellites, potentially equipped with lasers or interceptor missiles. These orbiting assets could directly engage enemy missiles or threats, adding a proactive strike capability to the defensive umbrella. Musk remains circumspect about his company's role, with Pentagon officials stating that SpaceX merely presented options to the White House. However, sources cited by Reuters suggest the government shows unusual deference to Musk's involvement, recognizing his unique influence on national security projects. Interestingly, SpaceX reportedly proposes a subscription-based model for satellite services, where the US would pay for access rather than own the infrastructure outright. This could mark a new approach to military space contracts, shifting traditional ownership paradigms. Despite these bold plans, the final satellite architecture remains unsettled. The government hasn't confirmed how many satellites the Golden Dome will ultimately deploy, what their precise capabilities will be, or how space-based weapons will be integrated with terrestrial defenses. The vision is grand, but many details await final decisions. What is clear is that the Golden Dome represents a paradigm shift. By combining ground-based interceptors with space-based surveillance and strike assets, the United States aims to create a multi-layered shield against increasingly sophisticated missile threats. With this initiative, the US sends a clear warning to Russia and China. Their hypersonic, multi-warhead missiles and space weapons will no longer guarantee offensive advantage. The Golden Dome aims to neutralize these threats early and decisively, closing gaps in current missile defense capabilities and maintaining strategic deterrence. Of course, this ambition comes at an extraordinary cost, with estimates starting at $175 billion over 3 years and projected to swell to more than $500 billion over 2 decades. The Golden Dome demands unparalleled financial and political commitment. Yet, the price of national security in an era of rapid technological change often requires such bold investment. Integrating ground and space, the multi-layered architecture of Golden Dome. Neither President Donald Trump nor Elon Musk has officially confirmed SpaceX's involvement in the Golden Dome project to the extent reported by Reuters. Yet, given Musk's close ties to Trump and his prominent role in aerospace technology, it seems plausible that SpaceX will play a significant part. With the space-based aspect of Golden Dome largely focused on missile interception during the boost phase, attention turns to the equally critical ground-based component of the system. According to reports from the War Zone, TWZ, the Golden Dome will incorporate advanced drone technology and surface sensors to detect threats that don't originate from space, such as low-flying drones and cruise missiles. This points to a sophisticated integration of both existing and emerging aerial defense command and control systems. The Pentagon is exploring ways to weave together its current aerial defense infrastructure with new architectures designed specifically for Golden Dome. Imagine a defense network that starts high above Earth, intercepting missile threats in space, but doesn't stop there. As any surviving projectile descends, it faces additional layers of defense on the ground, each with increasingly refined detection and interception capabilities. This multi-layered defense strategy is designed to force incoming missiles or drones to break through a series of barriers before they can reach American soil, significantly improving the chances of neutralizing threats before they cause harm. This concept is reminiscent of Israel's well-known multi-tiered air defense system, which combines the Arrow 2, Arrow 3, David's Sling, and Iron Dome systems to protect against a wide range of aerial threats. However, Golden Dome aims to scale this approach to an unprecedented level, extending the protective envelope across vast distances and incorporating space assets as its first line of defense. Importantly, the Golden Dome will not operate as a closed, proprietary system. Instead, it is being designed with open architecture. This means the US government can contract with multiple vendors to build, maintain, and upgrade various parts of the system. The open design gives the military the flexibility to quickly integrate new technologies and replace components without being locked into a single contractor's timeline or roadmap. Such flexibility could prove crucial, especially as missile and drone technologies rapidly evolve. The ability to open new tenders and select the best available contractors for upgrades or modifications means Golden Dome can continuously adapt to emerging threats. According to TWZ, this approach should allow the system to evolve faster than any traditional single-vendor defense program. Expanding threats beyond hypersonics. While much of the public focus around Golden Dome revolves around intercepting hypersonic missiles, the system's capabilities will encompass a broad array of threats. Hypersonic missiles, traveling at speeds up to Mach 20 or higher, represent a clear and urgent challenge. Both Russia and China have developed or are developing such weapons, and the United States currently lacks a proven defense against them. General Goodline and other officials have repeatedly emphasized the urgency of countering these extremely fast, maneuverable weapons. However, Golden Dome's scope goes beyond just the hypersonic threat. The Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, has underscored in its assessment document titled Golden Dome for America: Current and Future Missile Threats to the U.S. Homeland, that the new system must be capable of addressing a full spectrum of missile technologies. This includes traditional ballistic missiles with multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, MIRVs, which can release several warheads to strike multiple targets. It also covers cruise missiles, which can fly low and use terrain masking to evade radar detection, and an array of drone swarms or unmanned aerial systems that may be deployed in coordinated attacks. Adding to the complexity are emerging technologies like directed energy weapons and cyber threats that could disrupt defense systems. Golden Dome must therefore be designed not just as a missile shield, but as a dynamic and resilient defensive ecosystem capable of responding to the evolving nature of warfare. This raises the question: how will the Golden Dome's open architecture and multi-layered defenses operate in real time during a complex, multi-vector attack? Integrating space-based sensors, ground radar, interceptor missiles, and command and control software into a seamless network represents an enormous technological and logistical challenge. However, this challenge also represents an opportunity to redefine defense in the 21st century. By leveraging cutting-edge technologies, artificial intelligence, and partnerships with innovative companies, Golden Dome aims to become a system that not only detects threats faster, but also makes rapid, accurate decisions that outpace potential attackers. As the Golden Dome project moves forward, the United States faces a critical moment in redefining its national defense posture. The system's designed to integrate space-based interceptors with layered ground defenses, combined with an open and flexible architecture, signals a commitment to stay ahead of rapidly advancing missile threats. Moreover, by broadening its defensive umbrella to address a variety of missile types, drone incursions, and emerging technologies, Golden Dome positions itself as a comprehensive safeguard for the homeland in an era marked by technological uncertainty. In the coming years, decisions around funding, contractor selection, and technology development will determine whether the Golden Dome becomes the shield its planners envision or remains an ambitious blueprint on paper. As this project unfolds, the eyes of the world will watch closely, aware that the stakes extend far beyond national security. They touch on the future balance of power, the evolution of warfare, and the very nature of deterrence in the space age. The expanding threat landscape and international collaboration. About a week before President Donald Trump announced the Golden Dome project, a key document surfaced outlining the scope of threats the system aims to counter. While much attention focuses on hypersonic missiles, the Golden Dome is designed to intercept a broad spectrum of missile types, including intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs, ground attack cruise missiles, and even fractional orbital bombardment systems. This expanded threat profile highlights the urgency and complexity of modern missile defense. The Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, specifically called out North Korea and Iran as emerging threats. North Korea has successfully tested ballistic missiles capable of reaching US territory, while Iran is advancing space launch capabilities that could theoretically deploy ballistic missiles by 2035. When these threats are combined with the more immediate missile developments from Russia and China, the imperative for Golden Dome's deployment becomes unmistakable. The US needs this comprehensive defense system to protect its homeland against a growing range of sophisticated aerial threats. This urgency is not lost on the United States' closest neighbor, Canada. According to statements from both Trump and the Canadian Prime Minister's office, Canada is actively discussing participation in the missile defense program. While details remain sparse, Canadian officials acknowledge talks with their American counterparts are underway, particularly regarding the strengthening of NORAD and related initiatives, which include the Golden Dome. This signals a potentially significant binational collaboration on homeland defense. Trump seems poised to encourage Canadian financial contributions to the project, a move that would not only bolster the program's budget, but also strengthen US-Canada military ties. Canada has already committed $6 billion Canadian dollars to develop an early warning radar system in partnership with Australia, suggesting the country's willingness and capability to support large-scale defense projects. Whether Canada's role will be financial, technical, or operational remains uncertain, but any form of participation could mark a major win for Trump's administration. The strategic implications of Golden Dome. For adversaries like Russia and China, the looming deployment of Golden Dome presents a stark challenge. With the system potentially operational within 3 years, they face a strategic dilemma. Launch attacks now while the US remains vulnerable, or delay in hopes that Golden Dome fails or underperforms. Either choice carries serious risks, signaling a shift in the global balance of power and missile deterrence. the stakes for the US are equally high. If Golden Dome meets its projected capabilities and deadlines, it could fundamentally alter the calculus of missile-based warfare and defense. The system promises near-complete protection of American airspace from the next generation of missile threats, a feat that would have been unimaginable just decades ago. Yet, the question remains, will the Golden Dome become operational in time to fulfill this promise? Given the system's unprecedented scale and technological complexity, many experts remain skeptical about the ambitious 3-year timeline. Additionally, the immense financial commitment, potentially hundreds of billions of dollars, raises concerns about cost overruns and long-term sustainability. Still, the project represents a clear statement of intent. The United States is signaling to the world that it refuses to be vulnerable to missile attacks, committing vast resources to stay ahead of adversaries' evolving weapons. For citizens and military strategists alike, Golden Dome embodies both hope for a safer future and the daunting challenges of defending that future in an era of rapid technological change. What do you think? Will Golden Dome be ready before the end of Trump's second term? Is it worth the massive investment? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Military Show for ongoing coverage of the latest developments in US defense strategy. But that's it for this video. And if you want to watch more amazing content like this, check out some of our other videos. Bye.